And if you want to catch this recording, it's going to be made available to you in a couple different spots. So first of all, I like to point out our success meetups are held 3 times weekly. I will mention, I believe next Thursday session has been canceled. Just a little heads up there. If you did sign up for that, you hopefully got a cancellation email. There is another webinar that will be hosted at that time. Apologies. But they are held, success meetups are typically held 3 times weekly. If you're looking to register for one, you'll find them through our live training calendar within KV Core. Just feel free to choose the time zone that best applies to you. And usually as you're scrolling through our calendar, you'll see these on the calendar on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. If I haven't introduced myself, my name is Meryl Ortiz. I teach a lot of our Tuesday success meetups. Our Done For You Services Specialist, Heather, teaches a lot of our Wednesday sessions, and those can sometimes be a little bit more advanced, even embracing tools beyond KV Core itself. And then Thursday sessions, are often taught by my fellow trainer, Christina. So a little background on those. Now, they're all recorded, and I mentioned you can catch them at a couple different places. We post them on Inside Real Estate's YouTube channel, which you can find at the top through the live training calendar. We also sometimes post these in our Inside Real Estate Facebook discussion group. So I'll go ahead and I'll share the discussion group, and we'll share out, I think I already have our success meetups playlist up. So I'll go ahead and I'll share that playlist out in the chat with you all. So here we go, popping that in the chat for you. This is the YouTube channel. I'll also share out the Facebook group. The Facebook group's also a good one because we try to make a habit, either at the end of the week, the beginning of the week, try to post in the upcoming sessions. So let's see, it doesn't look like we have one posted for this week. This was last week's topics, but typically we're trying to make sure to make a regular habit of posting those topics ahead of time so you know what's on the schedule for the upcoming week. And we do that in the in the Facebook discussion group there. That Facebook discussion group is also a great place to synergize with like-minded individuals, ask your KV Core questions, ask your real estate related questions, and get real answers from, not only our, users of people working for Inside Real Estate, but also other real estate agents like yourself. So it's a great community, very active with those posts. There are some of those posts in there get something like, I've seen 50 to 100 comments on some of those posts. So definitely a great place to go if you have questions. But besides the YouTube channel, which most videos are loaded up there, most success meetup videos are loaded there within 48 hours. We also have the Facebook discussion group. And whenever I teach a KV Core success meetup, I always like to make a handy guide for you guys as well. And I'll usually come back and update this guide. I'll post at the bottom the recording link for you all, so you can always reference it here. So let's unpack my guide and let me make sure I share this out in the chat with you all. So here's our guide for today going down in the chat. All right. So I mentioned today we're going to cover a couple different things. Lead generation is topic number 1. But with lead generation tools like landing pages or squeeze pages or text codes, whenever we're trying to encourage a lead to sign up somewhere, typically we got to provide them with some value. Why should they sign up on your landing page? Why should they go to your website and register to see a certain piece of information? We got to give them value to encourage them there. So we're also going to talk about some value adds to your websites for the holiday, a little bit about custom pages and blog posts today. Additionally, I did include a link to our support article on updating your background, because I know that is a common or a popular topic that we'll talk about a lot of these holiday specials, is updating the appearance of your background for the holiday. Not required by any means, and not going to make as much as an impact as maybe blogging on your site, or custom pages might for drawing attention to your site. But I know a lot of our agent users like to do that too. So of course, maybe we'll integrate that into our discussion here today as well. All right, so we're going to talk about website updates, landing pages, squeeze pages, text codes, whatever we can fit into the time remaining. I have included some links below as I'll reference popping in, holiday themed photos. If you're not sure, a great place to go for free stock images is pexels.com, unsplash.com. You can, of course, also just Google free stock 4th of July images or free stock videos on YouTube to find some options that you can pop into things like your background image on your website, pop in as the background for, say, your landing pages as well. All right, and then of course at the bottom here, I always challenge you guys to take whatever you learned today, apply it in your own accounts. It's going to help you retain that knowledge. And of course, I've got other helpful articles linked as well, a bit about blog posts and some landing page ideas. If you're still scratching your head after today, what should I create a landing page for? I've got links to our YouTube channel, our Facebook group, and of course, give me a couple hours from now. I will make sure to update this sheet with the recording link, as I'm usually one of the first people to access that recording. But starting at the top, let's talk a bit about websites. And I'm going to be perfectly honest, I'm going to show my demo website here. I did this real quick. I grabbed a random image off of Unsplash of, I think, fireworks, changed the custom colors up a little bit. I'll be honest, I probably won't keep it this way, but just for something quick and fun, just change that background image to a holiday image. Now, some of you out there might have custom sites or professionally built sites, and I might recommend, changing that background might not be worth it for your personal sites. They're probably beautiful as is and no real updates needed for the holiday. While it's fun to change it up, again, the things that are really going to add value to your site are things like adding in your testimonials, maybe blog posting through your site, and creating things like custom pages, because those are things that are going to make your site more easily found when people are, say, doing a Google search online, and is going to increase the overall value of your site, the likelihood that it will be a source where people go to search for listings. So other additions that I added here, I am located in California in the San Diego area. So I also built in, timely for this time of year, is a custom page that says San Diego Fair info. Every year around this time, just before 4th of July, we do have a fair in San Diego. It's a big to-do. And on 4th of July at the fair, there are fireworks. So I created a little custom page there with some fair info. And again, these are just examples I threw together pretty quickly here. I also made a blog post about fireworks. So blog posts can be seen in a couple different places. Most of you will typically have a Your Agent tab on your website. And if you do any blog posts through KV Core, there will be a blog tab that appears. Additionally, as I scroll to the bottom of my page, and I apologize for the quick scroll, hopefully this isn't too hard on anyone's eyes. Scrolling down all the way to the bottom. And there we go. We got some blog posts as well. So I did a little blog post here, best locations to view fireworks in San Diego. Now I mentioned, to get people to sign up, to generate leads using things like landing pages and squeeze pages and text codes, we want to offer people a piece of value. We want to give them incentive to, say, check out our website or sign up for the information we're giving. And your websites already have some value adds in there. Consumers can go and receive regular market reports on the area in which they're living. They can sign up for a search alerts. They receive reoccurring updates whenever there's new listings that match the, home search criteria. And also sign up on your websites for home valuations. But other ways that you could add value to your site is to share a little bit about your local area. Additionally, if you are looking to attract maybe consumers that are out of state, you're trying to attract them to your area, your website's a great place to post why the area in which you live or work is so great. Posting about your local area also helps show off how you are your area's expert, that you are someone qualified to help them with this process, find a good place, find a good future home. So this is definitely all ways that you can help show your expertise and of course, drive more consumers to your site. And you can use this in your lead generation as well. So let's talk a little bit about these pieces that I added. I'm going to jump back to KV Core here. And I'm going to head to Web and IDX and talk a little bit about where I added in these pieces. And then we'll head to the lead engine where it can utilize those do-it-yourself lead generation tools like building landing pages and squeeze pages and text codes to either direct users to the pieces of value already embedded into your site, like home valuations and market reports, but also could direct them there for any value adds that you decide to add to your website, like best areas to view fireworks. So Web and IDX, I'm going to click there first. Now, if you want to change things like just the overall appearance, like background image, or you had a YouTube video, you're going to head to your website settings for that. And again, I do caution those of you with, say, custom built pages, professional built pages. You may want to tread carefully if you're looking to change the overall appearance of your site. Things like blog posts and creating custom pages won't damage what's already there. But when you get into things like changing the custom colors, background images, if you're trying to change up that home page, just be careful of the changes that you're making there. Now, all I did in today's example, what I did to my website was, again, I mentioned I grabbed an image off of, I think it was unsplash.com. I have included a link in that guide that I shared out in the chat with you all, or you can type it into your search bar. I did look for a horizontal image, and all I did was I came to my website settings, up at the top at general. If I scroll down a little bit here, this is where you could go to upload your own image. There are recommended dimensions here. I don't think I paid too close attention to that. I just went and I downloaded it, and you can always try it if you want to. Just click on it, find your image from your computer, upload it, and you'll have the ability to, adjust the sizing afterwards. So for example, you can see here, I downloaded another image, checked it out. Now, not the whole image is going to fit in my background. It'll show you exactly the area that it's going to cut out here. So this is another fireworks image, which you can see is probably a little too large for my background. I can always click the pencil icon if I want to adjust what area I want for my background here. Now, I decided against this photo, thought it wasn't quite right for what I was looking for, but if I wanted to keep it, I could just go ahead and hit the upload button. If I want to remove it, I'll delete. And really typically only takes a minute or two when it uploads. And then it will load up here in your background images, and you can select whatever images you like. So I just checked that one. If you do select multiple images, what it'll do is when you go back to your site and you refresh the site, I'll go back to the top here. When I refresh this, if I had multiple images selected, it would change that image, when I refresh the site. So it's not a active slideshow, but it does change when you reload your page. So just added in a quick image there, and of course, changed up my color as well. Fun little pro tip sometimes, what I like to do is I'll use our little water droplet icon here for the color. And I might hover over the image I've loaded and pick a color from the image just to make it a little bit more, cohesive there with a matching color. Maybe I want to grab that red shade, for example, and I could use that as my background and just save it. those simple changes are usually pretty instant. So after I save them, while occasionally it can take a little longer, I can usually go and just refresh my website and the changes are pretty automatic. All right. Now for the more, I would say more value adds that you could add to your website, if I hover back over Web and IDX and KV Core, blog is where I would go to do a blog post. And then website content is where I would go to create my custom pages. Now, when you create a custom page, you're going to head to site content. We can see this menu on the left-hand side. I can also go to site content for adding in testimonials, adjusting what service areas display on my website. At the bottom of your web page, there is a areas we cover section. This is what this suggests, that service areas right there. And then custom pages, you'll notice I've created a lot of these. And custom pages, if you've got real estate advice to share, tips for flipping a home, investor information, maybe you work with commercial, maybe you work with, retirement communities. If you have advice, maybe you've been working in the business a while, that would be a great thing to create a custom page for. But for today and for holiday purposes, I looked for local activities. So I've got a couple different custom pages I've created that I've put in the category of San Diego activities. So you can see I've created one in the past for Valentine's date spots, New Year's events. Here's my San Diego Fair info. Now to create a custom page, you're going to click the green new page button. You're going to give your page a title. This is what will be visible here. So this is where I added in, San Diego Fair info. Oop, and it helps if you spell it right. And then that is the title of the page itself. But you're also going to want to give it a category. Now, if you've created custom pages in the past, you probably have some saved categories here, whatever you've used in the past. So for example, I've got a couple different custom pages that fall into that category of San Diego activities. So I would put that there. If this is your first time creating a custom page, you would create a new category. So area activities, hot listings, preferred vendors, real estate advice, whatever you'd like it to be. And I'm going to explain why there's a title and a category. So as we look back to my site, and I apologize if it's a little hard to see, I'll use a different background image next time. You can see I've got a page here that says investor info. I've got a page for San Diego Fair info. And then these two custom pieces on the right, you'll notice as I hover over them, they give me a drop-down menu. So rather than being a single custom page, these are custom categories, and I can have multiple pages fall into a category. So if I want to, show multiple preferred vendors and just give a drop-down, I can show the case that whole category there. Whereas for San Diego Fair info, I just wanted to showcase that one page. I wanted that to be the title that showed up here. So you'll give them a title and a category, and you can choose whether you want a whole category to display here or a whole title. Typically, we recommend no more than 4 of these, and you can have whatever combination you like. It could be 4 individual pages, or it could be 4 different categories. Additionally, I'll also mention for most of you, by default on your websites, you'll usually have a search tab, a sell tab. A lot of you out there will probably have a finance tab if you have lender information linked. You'll have a your agent tab. And then if you haven't made any changes to your website, you might also have a page here that says resources. And whenever you create a custom page, it'll automatically fall under your resources tab. I have hidden my resources tab, which is why I'm just showing these custom pages here. But that could be another way that you display it as well. You could just have every custom page you create just be under your resources tab. All right, so you would create a category. I'm just going to put it in my San Diego activities. And then you got a couple different options here. You can just type in what you want the content to be. Feel free to include images, embed some links if you like. You could also get really fancy, maybe design something in Canva and then just use the source code from Canva to pop it in here. Oh, and great question in the chat. Christina said, you said only 4 categories or pages. 4 of, any of the above. It could all be categories, it could all be pages, or it could do what I'm doing on my website, which is a combination of categories and pages. So whichever ones you want to do, we recommend about 4, just because you really have only so much space up here at the top. And you're already going to have things like your search tab and sell tab and your agent tab. So just to make sure it all kind of fits up here, we typically recommend, if you look at our support articles, they recommend just 4 categories or pages or a combination, but 4 in total. I hope that helps to clarify. Yes, in addition to what's already existing on your site. Absolutely. All right. So, add in your content here. Additionally, as an alternate idea, you could just include a link to an outside page. So maybe you're someone with another website outside of KV Core and you want to link something to your external website. You could just pop the link in here. Or maybe I looked up, just to get an idea of kind of where to get some of this information from. I did a little Google search. I typed in, 4th of July activities in San Diego. And I also typed in, fireworks in San Diego to come up with a couple pages. And I could technically just link it to an outside source. So this is something I pulled up, when I did a Google search. This is the San Diego page, and it mentions firework events local to me. I could do something like grab that URL and I could just direct people to that page. So rather than, when they go to click on my site, rather than, seeing typed out information, it could just direct them to a whole nother page. So I've got an example of that with my preferred vendors. If I click on preferred plumbers, it doesn't show information on my site. It just takes them to a plumber page. So you could just direct them specifically to another site if you like to. All right. So after you add in your information there, this is what's really going to help your site be more easily located, adding in things like meta tag descriptions and meta tag keywords. If you make a Google search right now, so there we go, 4th of July fireworks, San Diego. As I scroll down here, underneath each website, there is a description. Celebrate 4th of July, multiple locations along San Diego Bay, fireworks. Those kind of sentences are those meta tag descriptions. And the keywords are the words that, are kind of highlighted or pulled when I, type in that search. Those are the specific things that they're pulling here. So I typed in 4th of July fireworks San Diego. So it found pages based on 4th of July, based on San Diego, based on fireworks. Those are the kind of keywords it found. So that's what helps when you create these custom pages, what helps it, helps your page more easily be found when you're adding in these things like descriptions and keywords. So I might do something like for a description, San Diego firework locations, 4th of July fireworks local to San Diego, something like that. So create a couple sentences. You don't have to spend all day on this, something quick and simple. And then keywords, we're going to separate by comma. So 4th of July, fireworks, San Diego, you get the idea. And then you can go and you can save it. There's additional fields here as well. Again, since that's not today's topic, I don't want to spend too much on the nitty gritty here. I do have a support article linked in my guide for you guys. So if you're looking to make your own custom pages and you want more detail on the step-by-step, that support article is linked. I love our support articles. They are so helpful and very thorough if you want more information on that. But teaching you kind of just want to point out the need to know items here, or the kind of items I would recommend is obviously a title, a category, pop your content in or link it to someone else. It's an either or situation here. And then of course, don't forget your descriptions and keywords and save it. Now, what I did for this San Diego Fair info, and I didn't fully flesh this one out here, but I did decide to, pop in, fireworks on the 4th. I mentioned, get tickets here for San Diego Fair, embedded a link here. Again, feel free to add whatever information you'd like there. If you're someone who really feels comfortable, fleshing out a whole kind of article there, feel free to, write whatever you'd like about, firework areas that you're familiar with. Maybe put in a sentence or two about, how long you've lived in the area, or how familiar you are, or your expertise, what you recommend. That's what people want to hear. They want to get to know a little bit about you in the process as well. All right, so we've created a page, and then really quickly a blog post as well. So the page was about the fair. That's what I created. And then the blog post I created about fireworks. Again, feel free to, take or leave whatever I'm suggesting here. Make it more specific to you. Maybe your area doesn't have a fair, but maybe they have a community cookout. Maybe there are, some sort of, maybe there's a water park near you that would be a popular spot for 4th of July. Some other sort of, music in the park, depending on your area. Again, you're the expertise, so feel free to integrate in whatever makes most sense for where you're working and what's local to you. And if you're not familiar with these, this is a good thing to look up, to have an interest in. All right, so for blog posts, we'll go ahead and we'll edit my blog post real quick. Blog posts, very simple. You're clicking add post, and same idea. You're going to give it a title, must be a unique title. And then you're going to type in your content. And I put a sentence here: as a San Diego resident for 30 plus years, my favorite fireworks spot is the San Diego Fair. You'll notice I looped in to that conversation here. See my San Diego Fair information page on my site for more details. So again, even if you decide to just do either or, that's fine as well. But if you're posting about this information in multiple places, you can kind of tie that together. So maybe they just found the blog post and that's how they were directed to your site. We'll direct them to your custom page as well, or vice versa. And then I put, I also recommend, for other locations, I included a link there below. Additionally, always feel free to, find a way to tie the conversation into real estate. Maybe at the bottom of your blog post, at the bottom of your custom page, you mention something like, also, are you interested in a free home valuation for your home? Check out this link to my website, and maybe just include a link to your sell page at the bottom as well. Always ways to tie that into real estate, even though we're using, kind of the holiday as an excuse to post. All right. And then feel free to publish your blog or save it as a draft if you maybe want to post it closer to the holiday. I always think, a couple weeks before it's probably safe to post. And, some people are probably looking for this information now, a couple weeks before the holiday. They might be kind of planning their activities. All right, now let's head over to the lead engine. And let's talk about, directing users to that information we've added to our site. Now, I highly recommend things like text codes for, say, your print advertising, flyers, sign writers, postcards. And you could definitely use 4th of July as a text code. Let me show you how. I'm going to click on Get Started. And if you've never created a text code before, you actually have one by default. It's already created in your database. That's some variation of your name. So right now I could get users to text the code Marielle to this number, which is my smart number. And that would capture their contact information, add it to my smart CRM. I would be notified. And then usually, you can kind of choose what their follow-up message is. I can always go, here's my text code here. I can always go edit what this is. Right now it says, the message I've added in here is thank you for your interest. Please see attached link for more details on this property. And I would, pop in a link or something like that. So that is your default code, but you can create as many codes as you like on top of that. And when I add a new code, this is one that's going to be exclusive to my kvCORE account. So when I create a code and someone texts that code again, that lead always comes back to me. So what I did in this instance, and you could use these to promote your open houses, listings that you have. You could create a text code that's for recruitment purposes, or maybe you want people to text your code to sign up for, I don't know, to receive regular listings, to receive something else. I mean, in that case, if you're sending something that would be going to them in an email, you want to also ask for their email address, of course, in there somewhere. But what I did, I'm going to go to my second page because I've created a lot of text codes here. So I just built a text code that says 4th of July. Go ahead and click edit here. And my message says, thanks for texting this code. Here's the details of our Independence Day event. Maybe you know of an event local to you. And then at the bottom, also included a link looking for a free home valuation. Check out my site. Now, maybe you're not hosting any sort of Independence Day event, but you know one local. You could direct them back to that custom page you made on your website. You could direct them back to your blog post that you created. Maybe it's not directly, 4th of July related. Maybe you're holding an open house the day before or the day after, and you want to get some attention about it. You can use 4th of July just as the code and kind of the, occasion for posting it out and say, hey, day after 4th of July, come check out this open house. Lots of ways that you could tie it in there. But again, we want to offer them some sort of piece of value. And again, when they're texting our code, it's capturing their phone information, adding that directly to kvCORE. Now, someone mentioned in the Q&A, if you don't have your own smart number, will the code come to me? Yes, absolutely. So typically, all accounts will share most users will share an office smart number. You'll notice this says it's not my smart number. It says it's an office smart number. Additionally, if you're part of a team, you might share a team smart number. Now, even though someone is, texting a code to a number that is shared by my office or team, again, that code that I'm creating is exclusive to my account. So just by them texting that code, kvCORE knows, hey, that's my lead. It's going to send it to me. If I create a code, no one else in my office or my team can create that exact same code. So just something to note there. You can, of course, get your own personal smart number if you really want to do that. It's not necessary for most of our users. Most do fine just using that office or team smart number, whatever you have available to you. But if you really want your own smart number, you can do that as well. I would say if the smart number is something that you wanted to put on, say, your personal business card without a text code, then that would be something where you'd want your own smart number, because we don't want to ever just share out the, say, office smart number without a text code necessarily. Because if someone, say, texts or calls that office smart number and it's a brand new lead that's not in anybody's CRM, the system's going to think, oh, this is a brand new lead, and it could go to, potentially someone else within your office. But as long as you're using it in addition to your text code and they're texting your code, that lead goes to you if you created the text code. I hope that helps to clarify. Now, heading back to the lead engine. Now, you could create a squeeze page and somehow tie that into the holiday. Squeeze pages and landing pages both utilize your website to create a link, and this is best posted out online, like your social media pages, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, wherever you're posting online. Now, the difference between landing pages and squeeze pages, there's typically 4 main varieties, and each of them squeezes that user back to your website to register. So you could create a squeeze page that sends users to look at multiple listings on your website, a single listing that you want to promote on your website, could direct them to sign up for a market report, or again, to, say, the sell page of your website to sign up for a home valuation. So those are 4 main types of squeeze pages. So since we're just directing them to our website, again, a little hard to, decorate it for 4th of July. You could create a link, post it on Facebook, for example, and somewhere in your call to action, or as you're explaining what the link is in your post, could say, hey, looking for a house close to this firework hotspots. Here's some listings below local to this area. And you can always find ways to tie it into the holiday. But I think for holiday posts in particular, I think the landing pages are kind of a fun way to go. And landing pages, let me just give a little visual here. Landing pages look like a single page website. You choose the background, you choose what the text says, you choose what information you're capturing. If you want to capture email and cell phone, you can do so. You can make cell phone mandatory here. You could also build out a landing page that instead captures maybe their home addresses. Maybe you're looking to target more sellers. And additionally, when you're creating landing pages, you can choose where the leads that sign up, where they're directed to next. So this example I'm showing you clearly has nothing to do with 4th of July. I'm showcasing, San Diego fixer-upper listings. I'm saying, hey, if you sign up here, I'm going to put you on a search alert so you receive reoccurring listings. And then I'm telling them, if they sign up here, they can see those listings right now. I just direct them to the listings on my site. So pretty straightforward use case here. But I could build this out, and instead of directing them to listings on my site, I could direct them to that custom page I built. I could direct them to my blog post. I could direct them to an outside page, like, a guide for fireworks. I could, rather than linking them to someone else's page, I could build my own, say, Google Doc or PDF that is, local events, and I just type it out myself and, put my own branding on it, maybe my own contact information on it, and say, hey, this is a local guide that I've created. If you sign up here, you get access to it for free. So different ways that you could promote this out. So really quickly, let's build a landing page. Now, I know we're short on time, folks, so please chat in now, either the chat or the Q&A. If you have questions about things we're talking about, or questions about something else in KV Core, maybe something beyond the topic we're talking about here today, feel free to share that out in the chat and Q&A, because our success meetups are also open to your questions. So don't be shy. If you got something, we can find time for that too. So feel free to chime in if you got anything that you wanted answered here today, because I want to make sure if you're joined here, you got what you came for. But while we're waiting to see if there's any questions, let's build a landing page real quick. So again, I'm here in the lead engine in kvCORE. I'm looking at that first item, landing pages, and I'm going to select my kvCORE website domain. Most users will have a website connected to your platform. If for some reason you don't have a website integrated, you may not see those landing page or squeeze page options. They do need a kvCORE website. If for some reason you have an account without a kvCORE website, you can typically purchase one through the kvCORE marketplace. You'll usually see a tile for it. All right, but I'm going to click my website domain and I'm going to click Start Building. And for today's purposes, we're going to keep it short and sweet. We're just going to use the lead generation variation. So you'll notice, it's got some text I can go and edit. I'm capturing email and cell phone number here. There are other variations. I mentioned you can also showcase a video if you like. Maybe you got a fireworks video to pop in there. Maybe you got a listing video to pop in there. You can capture addresses. That's a different variation. And even have people chat with you through Facebook Messenger. So a lot of different templates here, but we're going to stick to lead generation for today. Keep it simple. All right. Now for those leads that we're capturing, let's give them a hashtag in kvCORE. I want to make sure that they're easy to identify. Even if you're maybe not tracking this religiously, it's a good idea to be able to check in the future. Always check your business analytics. You can check which lead sources are producing the most leads over time. So I could go back and I could check all users would say hashtag 4th of July. We'll say 4th of July landing as the hashtag. And that way I remember, hey, they came from this 4th of July landing page that I created. And if you create a different one each year, maybe pop in the year, or, you can have whatever you'd like your label to be. You can keep it shorter and sweeter if you want. But this would help tell me that way any leads that sign up through this landing page I'm about to create, I would see them labeled with this hashtag in my CRM, and I'd be able to go check over time how many people were generated that way and how many of those people actually convert into clients. How many people do I end up closing a deal with? So all useful information to know. Now submit button text up here at the top. We're starting left to right at the top here. Fill out this information first. Submit button text is what this button says here. Now, I mentioned we're going to create this for 4th of July. We're not going to direct them to a list of listings. Let's say we're going to direct them to my custom page or my blog post about fireworks events. So maybe I make the button say, click for events. There we go. And that's what the button says now. So you can change the button text. Apologies, you cannot change the button color. I know I always get someone who asks. Now, URL after login. That's where we're choosing when they go to sign up, when they fill out their information, they click this button, where are we directing them to next? So I mentioned I'm going to direct them to that blog post that has the link to firework events. So let's go to my website here. Let's go to that blog post or my blog page. There's that blog page at the top. I can just go ahead and grab that URL. It's usually, yoursubdomain.com/blog.php, something like that. So that's where I'm going to plug that in here. That's how we redirect them to that blog post after they sign up. You may have noticed it did say URL was optional. If I don't plug in a website URL here, where it directs them to is just the home page of my website, which isn't the end of the world. We're still directing them to our website. But again, think about, the average attention span nowadays. You want to, whenever possible, direct users to exactly the information you've promised them. So in as few clicks as possible. So I wanted to make sure I directed them to that blog post page, not just to my home page, because, a new user who's never been to my site before, if they don't find what they're looking for, there's a good chance they might just click off my page and look for that information somewhere else. So we want to make sure we're providing them what they're looking for. All right, I can choose, just to the right of that, I can choose if I want to require that they fill out a cell phone number. Email is mandatory here. Cell phone is optional, same way your websites work by default. So if you've ever tried to save a listing on your website, for example, you may notice that registration box pops up, ask them for their email address. And then as they type in the @ symbol in their email address, it's going to prompt them to fill out their cell phone number as a password. I'll give you a little example here. There's that registration box. Type in my email address. There it is, asking for password as a cell phone number. This is what we've found produces the best results, the greatest likelihood that you're going to get, both set pieces of information, best likelihood that someone's actually going to fill out that information and not just click away. So that's kind of how we've done it here. You can, of course, make it mandatory. You'll probably notice that if you keep it optional, you might generate more leads. If you make it mandatory, you might be generating more serious leads. So totally up to you how you decide to play this one. Maybe try a landing page in both ways and just see what produces the best results for you. So feel free to mix this up if you'd like. Now for the background image, kvCORE has a lot of, optional background images, right out of the gate. So for example, land, new construction, but there isn't one for 4th of July. I can add in my own custom background. But when I do that, it asks for the background image URL. It doesn't give me the option here to download the background image, but I've got a workaround for that. So you may remember when we created the blog post and we create the custom pages, it allows me to upload a upload a photo into the content. So might seem a little silly, but I'm going to go to quick actions here. I'm going to go to my blog posts and I'm going to not fully add a post here. I'm just going to use that feature where I can upload a photo. I'll explain why I'm doing this in a second, I promise. And I'll go to upload a photo from my computer. So let's go grab one of those photos I downloaded with the fireworks in it. So let's go grab that image real quick. Let it load on up. Hopefully, it's too large. Sorry about that. So I'm going to we'll grab a different photo real quick. Pexels. And let's grab a fireworks photo. I'm probably just going to download the first one I see. This one's great. Downloaded it. Let's go back to kvCORE. Hopefully this downloads real quick because I know we're short on time here. Gonna go back to my image, back to upload. Let's upload that new photo. Hopefully not too large for this. There we go. Now as it uploaded, you'll notice it gave me a URL for the source. I can copy that and use that for the custom page background image URL. And you can do that whenever you like. kvCORE will kind of host that image for you. So kind of cool workaround there. You can use those blog posts. And I can delete this blog post now. I don't have to fully create it. I don't have to save anything. I can use it just for that purpose of getting that URL for the background image. There we go. That great fireworks photo as the background. All right, last question at the top, lead type. What type of leads do I hope to generate from this? Buyer leads, seller leads, renter, agent, vendor, none. I usually, if, unless I'm targeting specifically sellers or renters or agents, I usually click buyer by default here. Now, before we save this, we want to edit the text here. So we're not offering real estate deals. I'm going to click into this. We're offering find firework spots in San Diego. I could probably phrase that a little bit better, but we're running short on time here. So find firework spots in San Diego. Let's say find the best firework spots in San Diego. There we go. We want to sell ourselves, right? All right. Best firework spots in San Diego. And I'm going to say sign up for a free sign up for a free sign up for access to our blog post on local hotspots. Or again, if you're creating something like a doc with your available options, you could do that too. If you want to direct them instead of to your blog post, to your custom page, you could say sign up for access to our website posting about local events or whatever you'd like to do. Spend a little bit more time than what I'm doing here and thinking out your wording. Now you're welcome to fill out all of these boxes here. If you like, just click into it once and start typing. But if I don't need all this, I can double click it to remove the box, which is what I'm going to do in this instance. Again, think about, most people's attention spans, usually having them read less is a little bit better. Less is more in a situation like this. So find the best fireworks spots in San Diego, sign up for access to our blog post on local firework hotspots. Wow, my spelling is atrocious today. I'm so sorry, folks. All right, local firework hotspots. When I'm satisfied with how this looks, I'm going to hit save. There we go. It's going to save it. Think about it. Thinking real hard. There we go. And, I can grab this link and I can put it anywhere online I like, but also in the upper left-hand corner, this little icon, if I go to click here, you'll notice I can quickly post it to a lot of different venues. Whatever you're logged into, I'm logged into my Facebook here, so I could go ahead and I could say something about the post, put in a call to action, make it quick, make it snappy. And maybe even put somewhere in your post here as you're announcing it, maybe something encouraging them to comment as well. Comment below which fires, are there any fireworks spots you feel we missed? Where do you go for fireworks? Which one's your favorite spot? What's a local event close to you? Is there an area that you feel we missed? Is there a local cookout you'd like to promote? Comment below and encourage people to chime in, because it's also, again, going to increase the likelihood that your posts are found on your social media pages. Additionally, I will mention that just posting once might not produce a lot of results for you. Ideally, the best way to use the landing pages and squeeze pages is to make a regular habit of posting. So if you're posting on a regular basis, again, it's going to increase the likelihood that these posts will be found. And I'll mention as well, while you can share on Facebook to your own story or to your own feed, you could also share these out in local groups. So maybe if I was part of a San Diego resale group or activities group or hiking group or real estate group. Maybe I'd post it out there as well. Of course, do be aware if they have any rules around where you're allowed to share this, or, if there's any rules around if you can post things that require individuals to sign up. So do be wary if they have any rules around that group. All right, we are right at the end of time, folks. I didn't see any other questions pop in about KV Core. We're definitely going to make sure we dedicate a little bit more time to that next week. If you are joining us next Tuesday, I will be talking about importing phone contacts to your KV Core platform. So feel free to join us next Tuesday for that. I want to thank you guys for joining us here today. Before we wrap it up here, I want to share one more time in the chat a link to this 4th of July guide in case you missed it. Again, has lots of helpful support articles, and I will make sure to update it later with our recording. So thanks for joining. All right. Oh, and thank you in the chat, Melissa. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone. I wish you lots of success with your KV Core platforms.